Hi, Todd Warren here in the Forecast Center with a look at our severe weather threat, which is on the way for mainly late Friday evening through Friday night here in the ArkLaTex. And we do have an update from the Storm Prediction Center, and it's not a good one. It does now indicate a moderate risk for severe weather here in the ArkLaTex. On that 1 to 5 scale, that would be a 4, meaning that we should expect to see widespread severe weather across that area of red, East Texas, most of northwest Louisiana, and a small part of southwest Arkansas. That means we should expect to see several tornadoes. A few could be strong and long track tornadoes. Also looking at the potential for widespread wind damage with gusts that could be anywhere from 60 to 70 miles per hour with the line of thunderstorms that'll be moving through the region. Also looking at somewhat of a hail threat, although that threat doesn't look to be quite as high. Flooding also could be reported in a few isolated spots, mainly across the northwestern sections of the area where rainfall totals could be a bit higher. Here's the setup. We do have this upper level trough, which is making its way into the Four Corners right now. This is going to intensify as it crosses the Rockies and moves into the plains, and that will provide some significant upper level support for this cold front. And as that upper level support begins to arrive, we'll see thunderstorms increase near and ahead of the front tomorrow evening. Those thunderstorms will roll across the ArkLaTex Friday night, and then Saturday behind the system we'll be left with some morning showers, lots of wind, cooler temperatures, and lots of clouds. Here's a look at things here for the next couple of days with Rob and Stewart of FUTURECAST. And you can see as we go through the nighttime hours tonight, we will see a few scattered showers, very similar to what we experienced today. Most of Friday, pretty much the same thing. Cloudy, scattered showers. So if you go through the day and you don't hear about any thunderstorms, don't be fooled, because we still expect this to occur mainly Friday night. You can see by 6 p.m., probably after sunset, we'll see the line of storms beginning to develop here across south central Oklahoma, north central Texas. This will organize into a line which will begin to enter the northwestern edge of the area by 10 p.m. Again, this is just one possible example of timing. I'll show you the range of timing with the models here in a second. As we move forward to when the storms arrive in Texarkana, it now looks like between midnight and 1 a.m. It extends from, at that time, from Nashville to Texarkana to Jefferson down to about Carthage. Notice the discrete cells out ahead of this line. Those two, if they manage to get going, will pose a tornado threat. And if we have any strong tornadoes, those would be the source, more than likely, of those stronger tornadoes that we might experience. So we'll be watching the development of those discrete cells very closely. Moving the line forward, you can see it moves into Magnolia, Spring Hill, Shreveport between 2 and 3 a.m. and down towards basically Logansport and the northern sections of Toledo Bend by that time. And then we'll see the line move out of the eastern edge of the area near and shortly after 5 a.m. So by the time we get to sunrise, we should be pretty much done with our severe weather threat here across the ArkLaTex. And as I take you through Saturday, you can see the storms move out. We'll have a few leftover scattered showers, mainly during the morning hours. We're going to see some colder air work in. You might have noticed the pink move across the northern edge of the area. FUTURECAST indicating a few sleet pellets might be a possibility. That possibility does look slim, and obviously with the warmth we anticipate tomorrow, it's not going to cause any issues, as we will be above freezing, but it does remain a remote possibility. And then going through Saturday night, we will see the clouds move out, and that'll set the stage for a mix of clouds and sunshine for Sunday. Now, as far as the tornado threat, actually before we get to that, here's a look at possible storm timing. And basically I looked at all the different models and looked at the earliest and latest. So we could see that line, again the line itself, not the discrete storms, move into this yellow area from Idabel to Mount Pleasant anywhere from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. It arrives from DeQueen to Texarkana to Longview anywhere from midnight to 1 a.m. It arrives basically from Magnolia to Shreveport to Center and Carthage, anywhere from 1 to 3 a.m. And then, of course, the southeastern edge of the area, anywhere from 4 to 5 a.m. Late Friday night into early Saturday morning. So that's kind of a window of possible timing of this line of storms that's going to be rolling through. Now, as far as the tornado threat, this is a product that FUTURECAST does contain, which basically shows us where the atmosphere is best supportive of producing tornadoes. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's guaranteed, but the darker orange, you're going to see a trend here as we go through the evening hours. Basically, yellows does support tornadoes, but the point is, you'll see why we have the moderate risk as we go through the late night hours. Notice how it turns more orange here across East Texas into northwest Louisiana, and that continues to be the case as that line progresses its way towards the east. So very late Friday evening through Friday night, it does appear that as that line moves into East Texas, northwest Louisiana, that's where the atmosphere will be most supportive of producing several tornadoes across the region. Now, as far as rainfall, that's also going to be another threat that we'll be watching for. FUTURECAST continues to indicate more than 2 inches for most of the ArkLaTex. Notice where the line will be moving slower, we could see some heavier rainfall totals, with the model showing anywhere from 3 to perhaps as much as 5 inches in a few isolated spots possible. But generally speaking, I would anticipate receiving at least 2 inches with a few isolated 3, 4, maybe 5-inch totals possible. And because of that, we could have a few reports of some isolated flash flooding, especially over the northwestern edge of the area. So that's the latest on timing and what to expect of the storms. Keep it here and check back to this article this Thursday evening at 8:30. I'll have my normal 8:30 live update and give you the latest run of FUTURECAST, show you the possible timing. That's coming up tonight at 8:30.